Hey Warriors, Unit 15, Lesson 7. This one's about conformity, compliance, and obedience. If you like what you see, like and subscribe to my channel. Does that have anything to do with this lesson? Heck yeah, it does. It's cool to follow Ritter Runs Far. Everybody's doing it. Conform. And I'm a person in authority. Do it now. Hey, if these sound like initiatives that you're likely to follow, well, go ahead, like and subscribe. That's kind of part of social influence, conformity, compliance, and obedience, and once again, social thinking. If you think you're immune to being influenced by other people, what was the last thing you liked? What was the last thing you subscribed to? You're very vulnerable. Let's check this out. All right. Before we move on, we got a little quote here. The only thing a nonconformist hates more than a conformist is another nonconformist who won't conform to the rules of the nonconformity. It's all a backwards gobbledygook mess of doing things that we're expected to. That's typical, just like in our last lesson. And people who break away from those norms and just want to be known for being different. It's not all about just what we think. Let's move on. Let's go. Before we get into it, have you liked and subscribed to Ritter Runs Far? If you like what you see, go ahead and do so. I'm going to tell you all about conformity, compliance, and obedience right now. Now, this picture won't make a lot of sense to you if you didn't see my videos in class the other day, but conformity is when we change one's attitudes and behaviors to make them consistent with those of other people, just like we do with norms, and all of us do it. We all conform. I won't act like that I don't do it, because I do, and I know I do. So I follow the rules of society and those who are like me, because I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to stand out. I don't want to be get that dissonance because it feels uncomfortable. If you don't believe me, look, go to the media center, take out a yearbook, and look at the pictures of all the people in the yearbook. They all look the same. It's what we do. It's just natural. We want to fit in, especially when you're your age. Now, the question is, will we conform to the point where it becomes dangerous? Well, we found out from Solomon Asch's classic studies that we will in some cases. Now, it really isn't going to make a whole lot of sense unless I show it to you in class. Asch's studies on conformity demonstrated to us the lengths at which people will go to fit in. So he tested people who conform to read lines on a screen. Are they the same? Are they different? And if there are people who are breaking the rules and saying the wrong answer, we're likely to change our own perception, what we see with our own two eyes, to go against what we see and answer wrong to go along with the group. Most of us will respond to peer pressure. I will show you this in class. I will even hopefully demonstrate it to you. The bottom line is 75% of people conformed at least one time, denying what they see with their own eyes to fit in with the group. 33% half the time, 25% all the time. So they are overriding what they're thinking. And because of the dissonance, they're answering what the group thinks that they should answer. Why do we do this? All right, results of Solomon Asch's experiment. Why did so many people, 25%, deny what they're seeing with their own eyes and go with what the group was saying? Well, because of public conformity. They don't believe what they say, but the group says this, and so they're overriding their own thoughts and going with that. Or private acceptance. They actually believe, okay, I'm wrong. They must be right. I'm just going to defer to the reality that the group is saying the wrong answer. I'm wrong. Those are hard for us to accept. And it creates that icky feeling, that nervousness, that embarrassment. So which one do you think is more powerful, public conformity or private acceptance? Well, there are the three influential factors why group norms have power. One, we want to be right. We don't like it when we're wrong. Next, we want to be liked. We don't want to stand out from the crowd. We're into that tribal fitting in. And finally, our entire lives, since we've been trained through reinforcement and accepting social norms. So it's unusual for us to stand out from the crowd. It's hard for us to stand out from the crowd. Now, there are other factors that allow those group norms to have power over us. Here's what Solomon Asch's experiment revealed about conformity and when we are more likely to conform. When we are made to feel incompetent or insecure. If we're in a group of at least 3 people. If we are in a group where everyone else agrees. If we are in a group where we admire the other people's status. We will conform if we haven't already committed ourselves to another answer. We'll conform when we know that the others in the group will observe our behavior and then like us. And we will conform when we are part of a culture that values and respects social standards and fitting in. So those are the factors that lead to more conformity and less individual thinking. All right, let's transition to compliance. Now, compliance is when we change our behaviors under pressure from others. Compliance happens to us really kind of without us knowing about it. And here are some of the ways that they do. Number 1 is foot in the door technique. And I have a challenge for you to try this with your family. Foot in the door is when we get a person to agree to a small request and then gradually ask for something larger, increasing by up to 700% when people are doing sales calls or something. All right, works a little bit like this. Betty's goal is to get $50 for contribution for a youth group, and she's using foot in the door technique. Betty says, hey, would you donate some old clothes for one of our charity programs? Small request, just some clothes. Bert says, yeah, sure. And then she transitions to, Betty says, would you donate $50 to our organization? All right, first, just donate clothes. Next, give me $50. Foot in the door. Foot in the door is a small request leading us to a larger one. Tactic number 2, door in the face. When you're putting the foot in the door, small to big, door in the face is big to small. So in this one, request for a favor that is likely to be denied and admit the favor was excessive and then, I'm sorry, that was too much. And then ask for something lesser and as an alternative. And that's what you really wanted. So let's say you want to go to the movie, you want to go see Wicked because it's wonderful. And you ask your parents, hey, mom, dad, can I go to Carowinds? That's like $90, right? But then they say, okay, that's stupid. It's going to cold out, whatever. So can I go to the movies? Sure, go to the movies. That's an example of big to small. Again, Betty wants $50 for her donation. So Betty goes to Bert, hey, would you volunteer to run a weekly program for our youth group? No, too much? Okay, well then how about you just give us $50 for your organization? Yeah, the time commitment for running the group, too much. $50, not so much. Let's do it. The number 3, lowball approach. Obtain a person's oral commitment to do something. Once a commitment is made, increase the cost of that. Now, the used car salesman gets a bad rap in this one. You see a used car salesman here, and what they'll do for the lowball is get you in the door. This car is $11,000. It's a steal. We have a deal. And if they say yes, then, oh, wait a second. I made a mistake. It's actually $12,850. Sometimes stores will do this to us. They'll put the big going out of business sale, 50% off the entire store. And you get into the store and like everything has been jacked up so that when 50% off of the original price isn't really what it is. It's, I don't know, more than that. And the 50% off sign is just to lure us in the door. Once we're there, it's not so much deals. Me and my family were a victim of this over Christmas break. We had a store going out of business, and so we're like, oh, we got to go shopping. And we got there, and I don't think any of us bought anything because we're like, it's nothing that I can't live without. Hey, with that, like and subscribe to my channel. There's more fantastic information about social influence, social control coming up for you in the rest of Unit 15. And if you like what you hear, like what you see, there's loads of playlists from high school psychology classes that I've been working on all this year. Yay. I want to see you try these techniques with your family. Try a foot in the door. Try a door in the face. Try a low ball. Come up with your own strategies for influencing people, for compliance, and we'll talk it over in class.